Hey everybody. So, if you've been paying attention to my other socials, you're aware that I've been wanting to record a video explaining where I want to take my content. This is that video. Now, I'm just gonna do a fair warning real quick. Um, this does get fairly heavy, and I might have to stop because I'm like borderline on a breakdown from how heavy this stuff gets. And the reason why I'm going to be getting so heavy with this is because in order to fully understand why I'm taking my content the way I'm taking it, there's some context that needs to be given along with some personal stories that have to be given involving myself and family members whose names I will not be mentioning. I will simply just refer to them as in what order they go through. Um, Now, if you don't want to hear anything involving that and just are here for the community stuff, because I will discuss that. There are going to be some community goals that I'm going to try to push for maybe every month, probably every month, in all honesty. Now, depending on when I release this video, which I honestly might do that right after recording this, um, that means y'all have a good bit before the goal needs to be met because if I release it now, I'm gonna probably give it to the end of December for that community goal to be reached. But, anyways, okay. Now, hopefully, the people that don't want to watch the heavy stuff are gone. Um, I'll try to put in a timestamp if you're still here for that. But, anyways, okay. So, here's the heavy part. Now, if you've noticed, the word forgotten is staying. However, the last word went from Tenno to Teal. Now, Tenno was simply just a placeholder. It was always a placeholder. I never wanted my content to be bogged down to one game. Now, granted, I love Warframe. I love playing Warframe. I think I'll probably always love playing Warframe for the sheer fact of the story is just amazing. But anyways, the the word forgotten itself is extremely important to me personally for a few reasons. Now, I just want to point this out real quick. It is not the host of this system speaking. For reference, if you didn't know, I have DID. That this body has DID. The person right now that's talking is called Marshall Vol. My role is a protector, but the host wanted one of us to do this because he wasn't entirely sure of himself and how well he would handle talking. So here I am. Now, the word forgotten is important to the host. I'm not giving out real names for the sheer fact of, hey, protection, identity protection is a very real thing and needs to be upheld. Any DID system is not going to have its alters on any sort of paperwork, so I get to use my actual name. Anyways, the word forgotten holds a lot of meaning for a few things that put into context will probably help y'all understand one why we are actually expressing our DID a lot more. And for those that don't know what that means, dissociative identity disorder. Basically multiple personality disorder, but the sheer fact of when something happens and one alter will disassociate and another alter will take front. Now, if that's out of out there, the host grew up a middle kid. Most people have the stereotype of the middle kid is forgotten a lot. He wasn't really like that within his family. However, it was lifelong family friends that would forget him. He sort of embraced that at one point or another, to the point where he now no longer projects his presence. As in, like, this body is 6 foot, 5'11", 5'11", 6 foot, give or take. Depends on if we're slouching or not, which we are, and that hurts. Anyways. I mean, around 6 foot tall and about 200 pounds. You normally would expect somebody like that to have a presence. He hides his extremely well. Now, growing up, he absolutely hated the fact that he was forgotten by people a lot. For the sheer fact of he didn't stand out. He chose not to stand out. Never did anything really warrant congratulating. Never really did anything crazy in school. Never got any like major legal trouble. Nothing like that. He did not do anything to. He did anything he could to not stand out. Really, because to him, standing out meant trouble. Now, okay. Here's where family stuff gets brought in. Now, his oldest sister, for the longest time, he was convinced was his mother. Because his mom was working so much to where he didn't really see her as a mother figure for a good while. I think until about Valentine's Day of first grade, maybe. And he caused a lot of issues with his oldest sister to the point to where they basically don't talk anymore. He hates that. He hates that he caused that divide between himself and his sister. And there's only so much that he can do from his end when the oldest sister isn't trying to make it better as well. At least in his point of view, it doesn't seem like she is. Now, granted, this hurts and does suck. However, anything major, she does still include him in. Like the fact that he's going to be uncle come April. Now, that has nothing to do with the word teal being added to the being brought into the YouTube name. It has nothing to do with that. There is a reason for that, and I'll get on into that here in a minute. Now, he basically feels forgotten by his oldest sister, and he's aware that he basically caused that. He's aware that he basically caused her to forget him or forget to see him as a brother. He's aware that he hates that, but there's only so much he can do on that. The only other one that has had any significant impact on him and is helping repair their relationship is the middle sister. She was the first. The middle sister helps him realize how messed up he was. I'm talking the depression, the suicidal thoughts from when he was younger. He doesn't have those all that often anymore. He jokes about them a lot, but it's literally that. It's literally jokes, joking about his own trauma, which, giving his age, that's fairly accurate for his generation. Anyways, he didn't really accept the DID until he was like 16, which is a couple years after his middle sister decided to repair the relationship. Now, this last little bit is a good portion of why Tio is being added to the name. And it has a lot to do with his little sister. He's aware of it, and he accepts it that he failed her as a brother. Severely. To the point to where she hides a good portion of herself from him, which fair, justified, considering everything. That's a large part. This is why he wants Tio to be a part of the YouTube channel. The association of Tio, because so that it's Spanish for uncle. For those that don't know, that's somebody's brother, somebody's uncle figure, sometimes parental figure in really bad cases. This is why Tio is being brought in, is because he wants to make up for his failure as a child as an adult by being there for somebody else. That's why the YouTube name is being changed to Forgotten Tio, because he wants those that feel like they don't have, that their blood has failed them, to find their own family. That's also why the Discord is now called the Found Familia. If you can't tell, we are very going into his heritage of being Hispanic from his mom's side. But, anyways, that's why he's also wanting to do some community stuff, which I'll get into in a few minutes. Now, this whole thing, he wants to be that father, brother, uncle figure to someone who needs it. Because he's aware of his own faults, where he failed as a brother, and what he needs to do in order to be better. He's also aware of the fact that he himself can't really do a whole lot when it comes to the fact of repairing his relationship with his siblings. His middle sister, he's fairly good with. Distance right now is just the main factor, and time zones and all that mess. But that's manageable. His baby sister is going through college, and she's sharing stories, and like they joke whenever they're around each other, and they actually have decent, like fairly meaningful conversations. The relationship is being repaired. However, there's still the acknowledgement from both sides that he screwed up. And he's well aware of how much he screwed up. But I'm not going to get into how, because again, that's a lot of personal stuff that I don't want to like divulge. Yes, I'm aware I'm talking about personal crap as is, but either way. Now, his parents, honestly, there's not much that they could have done with the entire situation, for the sheer fact of they were working their tails off to support 4 children during the 2008 recession. So, if you know anything about that timeline, that time frame, you're aware of how bad it was. Can't fault them for that. Can't fault them for anything. They did what they could with what they had, and what they had was not a lot for the sheer fact of, again, 4 kids, bills, and past mistakes catching up. Nothing major. It's just, I say nothing major in the legal sense. It's just bad financial decisions when they were younger. But still, there's not much they could have done. Now, here's where here's where the community part comes in. With him wanting to be that brother, father slash uncle figure to people as a whole, the Discord is going to play a big role in this. So if you want to, is completely up to you if you want to, join the Discord server. The link is in our link tree, which should be in the description of the YouTube channel, should be in our on our page for TikTok, and I believe it's also on our X. I believe on that one. I'm not entirely sure. Now, this whole thing is purely for those that want to have. Give me one second. Sorry, I have 3 dogs in the next room, and these walls are not that are fairly thin. So you've probably heard them this entire time. But anyways, Discord, right? We, as a system, our host specifically, our host mostly, um, wants to use that Discord as a way for people to feel like they have a connection where their blood failed them. Something that can anchor them at least to this world. Cause this is gonna sound a little selfish and very messed up. But if down the line we as a system or a host specifically finds out that the community that he brought together, that we as a system brought together, help prevent somebody from doing something drastic to cause harm to themselves, whether that be something involving narcotics or alcohol, or just simply doing something drastic to cause harm to themselves. And the community that we built prevented that. That would be the end all be all. That would generally be, that would not be what causes him to like end the channel or anything like that. No. That to him that would mean that he succeeded. To him that would mean that he accomplished something and was worthwhile to someone, to where they chose to live. There's a few people he can name off the top of his head. Oh, like there's like on his hand he can count how many people that would think of him when something like that would cross their mind. One of which is one of his siblings. The other one is his partner, who also does YouTube, and we will be helping them put more out, but that's something else. And his parents. I'm only counting that as one. I'm only counting them as one for the sheer fact of it is one that is more of a risk than the other one. But anyways, um, long term, that is the goal. Is for this community to be something to where someone feels that they have a home, that they have a family, and that they are not forgotten. Because that feeling sucks. I'm sure a lot of us out there can relate to that. Now, here is the last bit of the community goal. Before the end of the year, I would like to raise, at minimum, $200 for bipolar research. Both two very good people in our host lives, our host life, Jesus Christ, our host life has bipolar disorder. Now, I know one is type 1, I believe. I believe one is type 1 bipolar, and I don't know what the other one is. Either way, I would like to raise $200 for, we would like to raise $200 for bipolar research. Now, the way that that money would work is this. This part is really important, so I pray that, I hope that anybody watching this does not skip this bit. But this is how it's going to be divided up. This is how it is. This is what the plan is regardless. Two different charities. I'm gonna go through, do some research on what charities work with bipolar disorder, which ones do what, and those will be part of a community poll. Whichever one has the highest vote, that will be the one that we send the money to when we if and or when we reach that goal. Regardless of if we don't reach that goal, the money's going towards them. Period. Okay, it's not getting pocketed. Regardless, that money is getting put towards that charity. Okay. First and foremost, the charity donation will be made. All right, there's that. Now, if we exceed the goal, if we exceed that $200 goal, depending on how much we succeed it by, if it's just by like $2-3, like 2 to 10, like anywhere from $2 to $25, it's still just going to go to that charity. If it's from $26 and above, or yeah, $26 to, let's say 75. Let's say 75. And that amount above 200 is going to go to the charity that lost the community vote. Simply just because if either way, money's getting put to charity at that point. If we exceed it by an exorbitant amount, and I do mean exorbitant amount, like I'm talking 75 to 75 plus. Literally, if we manage to pull in $100 freaking for them, like $100 extra for that other charity, cool. If we go past 300, 200 be to that first charity. Period. The next $100 would go towards the charity that lost the community poll. Whatever is left would go towards me. Literally, the community goal would be first, then the second charity would be next. I will take what's left, even if it's pennies or dimes. I don't care. We have said from the very beginning, we are not in this for money. However, bills, mortgages, all that mess needs to be paid. Any little bit helps. Community goals do come first, though, when it comes to YouTube aspect. The money, if you want to be part of it, if you want to donate, that would be something I would have you get in contact with me personally for. And that money would be sent to probably my PayPal, for the sheer fact that I don't mess with that. I don't have a card for it. I don't have anything for that. I just have the account just sitting there. That's all it would be for. That is because I have a Cash App card. I regularly use Cash App in emergencies simply just to monitor my own spending. And I'm obviously not going to give my bank info out to people. But that would be how it would happen. It's either that or some something to do with the Patreon, which more than likely it actually will be the Patreon instead of the PayPal. Patreon. Which brings me to another thing. Patreon. I've had one up for a while. Hasn't really been used all that much for the sheer fact of the videos that were up there. I was asked to take down by the person that I was podficking, and I was a few chapters in and I realized I never asked for permission to do this. So when I did, they said, no, if you have any recordings, please just delete them. And I followed through with that. You can see that on my second channel, which doesn't have anything on it at the moment. Now, that Patreon page, I'm still going to use it for a few things. Early release videos, first and foremost. Early release videos. They will be available for I think I'll probably do maybe a week for patrons. They have a full week early access to videos. I'm talking the new Power World series I've been recording in order to get stuff ready for this. The reaction video that I did to a Sam and Colby video that I never released. Now, here's something that's going to be Patreon exclusive for the sheer fact of they're no longer the brand. There are two streams sitting in my back pocket that I never released. I never edited them. They're just there. I'm going to throw them on the Patreon and probably going to throw on YouTube memberships for the sheer fact of if somebody's willing to pay me money to watch my stuff, I might as well give them the last remnants of the old brand. Now, the stuff that's on YouTube currently, I'm going to make into one whole playlist called The Old Brand. And that's where they're staying. They will always be on my channel, but they will be in a playlist called The Old Brand. I'm talking the one or two Minecraft videos that I did, the couple of Destiny videos that I did, the beginning of a Power World survival series. That one's actually probably still going to keep going along with the other Power World series that I'm doing. But we will see on that one. I'm probably actually still going to do it. Actually, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. Anyways, this video is going on for way too long, and I'm going to try to keep the rest of this short. But all those videos, including the reactions, are going, save for the one that I haven't released yet, all of those are going to be under the old brand. Now, the reaction video that will be that is under the new brand, I'll be honest, I hated the outro that I did, and I've changed it with the Power World series, which I'm titling Egg Run. which basically means I I do I'll do a separate video for this. I'll do a separate video explaining that, but I have titled Egg Run. Now, those have the outro that I'll be using for this video. So, to recap, new brand, Forgotten Tio. Okay? The word forgotten has significant meaning to us and definitely has some probably for other people. Community goal at the moment is $200 to bipolar research. The new brand officially launches with this video and will probably be accompanied by a short warning people along with a small recap, this recap bit right here on what this video covered. Now, for the new outro, this is what it is. I will see you later, Nibblings. This is your Tio signing off. Later.